Hi everyone. It is Tuesday at noon, and I am so excited to get to talk to you about today's oils, turmeric and lavender. And I've realized that I just really love researching new oils and learning. I think that's been a trait of mine, just a love for learning. So I'm happy to share a lot of the things that I've learned about turmeric. Turmeric is a new oil that just came out in September with doTERRA, and it was just really popular because of what it has to offer our bodies. Turmeric has a lot to offer us. And I'm just going to wait a second to have one or two people come on before I jump right into everything that we all love about turmeric. So most all of you know about turmeric powder. It's been widely researched. A lot of people take turmeric powder. It's got its own place in our wellness routine. But there's a lot of things that turmeric oil can add that are benefits we're not getting from the powder. So in order to get into that, I have to take like 1 minute and just talk about some science. There are two parts of turmeric. There are the curcumins and there are the turmerones. The curcumins are the part that are in the turmeric powder, and that's what you're getting when you take the powder. But they are water soluble, not fat soluble, and so they are not very well absorbed in our body. Often you need to actually take some coconut oil or some other fat source with the turmeric powder just so that your body gets any benefit from it at all. Now the oil actually doesn't have curcuminoids in it. It has something called turmerones, which is another portion. The turmerones are completely fat soluble, so we absorb them 100% in our body. That's fantastic. None of it's going to waste. You don't need to take anything extra. But the other thing about the turmerones is they actually make the curcuminoids more effective. So the turmerones that are in the oil actually make the powder more effective. That's really awesome. Now, if you, the powder has its place, as I said at the very beginning, and if you use doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality, then you're gonna know that the Alpha CRS actually has turmeric powder in it because it's something that really does have benefit in our wellness routine. And then also the deep blue polyphenols have turmeric powder in it. And I'm just gonna say, this is one of the things that I love about Lifelong Vitality. You're not just getting a multivitamin, but you're getting all of the other wellness herbs that you really need to support your body all in one package. So that's fantastic. So introducing the turmeric oil, when you already are using a powder, you're gonna get additional benefit, but you're also gonna be absorbed in your body and you're gonna make the powder more effective. Okay, so the two work together really synergistically. But you get, hey Jessica, I'm glad you could join us. I'm so glad that you get way more benefit from the oil than you do the powder, but that they do work together really well. So the biggest reason why I think everyone should be using turmeric is because it's so powerful to our brains, both for young people and for older people. So for young people, a lot of times you might have trouble learning. There's some learning disabilities that kind of get back to the brain wiring. What turmeric does is it enables your brain to create new pathways to learn information. So as a NICU nurse, babies, and so that's my background as a NICU nurse, a lot of times babies' brain development is interrupted when they're born prematurely, and so there's like breaks in the brain pathways, and it can end up with some like long-term neurologic consequences. Well, when you can take something that's going to support new pathways being developed in your brain, you're going to learn, your brain is going to relearn to do stuff. That is huge, especially, well, it's huge with anyone who's struggling with learning, okay? And Anne has shared, and if you know Anne Calhoun, she shared a testimonial recently about her son who's been using turmeric since it became available in October. It's an incredible testimonial. But then there's the other end of the spectrum. There's the older age. And so the brains in the elderly start to deteriorate, right? They get whole spotty sections. Their memory just starts to fail them. And so turmeric in elderly people is going to help them develop new pathways to access their old memories. Again, it's going to rebuild those pathways. It's neuroprotective, so it can actually protect your brain from the effects of that aging process. And again, this is why I say turmeric is something for every age in the spectrum, because for me personally, I want to be protecting my brain. You know, I didn't have any issues when I was young, but I don't want to have issues when I'm older. So I want to be protecting my brain. I got to keep moving fast because there is so much to say, and I don't want to spend too much time on any one thing. The other thing, research that we learned out at convention about turmeric, it is so widely researched. It's quite amazing how much research is going on in it. But it has a really profound anti-cancer effect, particularly on colon and breast. So it's been researched in mice. It has not gone into human trials. But again, it has that anti-cancer effect, and it has a preventative effect. The research studies are there in mice, like I said, but this is something that you can incorporate and get a benefit from if you're at risk for these cancers, if you have a family history of them, or if you are a survivor yourself, you're gonna get good benefit there. So another thing that turmeric does is it decreases our neural excitability. So it calms the brain. So you think about kids who have overactive, hyperactive brains. Daily use of turmeric can decrease that hyperactivity in their brain and calm them. And again, that's kind of back to the brain. One of the other, my favorite characteristics of turmeric is its anti-inflammatory benefit. It is majorly anti-inflammatory. One of the questions that I was asked when I sent out that survey was, how can I use oils to decrease inflammation and pain? Using turmeric every day is a way you can decrease your inflammation and pain. And this is especially relevant if you have an autoimmune disorder, because if you have an autoimmune disorder, you want to shy away from the things that are immune boosting sometimes. This is anti-inflammatory, but not going to fire up your immune system. So it's got that anti-inflammatory. Now, inflammation is the root cause of most of the diseases that we encounter in America, and inflammation is the root cause of most pain. And I want to give you an illustration so you can understand root cause. When we have a headache and we take a Tylenol, do we have a headache because we have a deficiency in Tylenol? Because our body doesn't have enough Tylenol in its system? No. We get a headache because we're either dehydrated, we didn't sleep enough, we're not eating properly. Those are the root causes for our headaches. Headaches don't come from a Tylenol deficiency. So when we take Tylenol for a headache, we are just slapping a Band-Aid on the issue. We're not dealing at any of the root causes, right? When you take turmeric, you are dealing with the root causes throughout your whole body for pain and inflammation. You're not slapping a Band-Aid on your pain, which that Band-Aid is going to cause side effects down the road, right? So daily use of turmeric can decrease inflammation. Inflammation is the root cause of much of the pain that we experience. If you experience pain, I suggest adding turmeric to your routine. So how do you do that? I'll tell you the easiest way. It's available for internal use. You can just put 2 drops under your tongue. It doesn't taste very good, but you don't have taste buds under your tongue. If you swallow something really quick afterwards, you're not gonna have that taste lasting very long. Do yourself a favor. If you don't like putting things under your tongue, when you order your turmeric, add some veggie caps. It's very easy to make your own veggie cap. I'll just show you real quick how. It's a little thing like this. You open it up, you put 2 drops of turmeric in there, and then you can take it just like any other pill and get all of those benefits. So I would highly suggest turmeric for internal use. You can use it in a diffuser if you want. It does not smell nice. I did post 1 or 2 diffuser recipes that you can try and experiment. finding ways. It does have some emotional benefits. I don't have time to go into all of them. But if you find a diffuser combination, you can certainly use it that way. Internal is going to get your best bang for your buck. If you have a child who needs it, I would make a roller bottle and probably just roll it on their spine. The base of their brain is a good place. Last thing I'm going to tell you about turmeric, and this is really big, you're going to appreciate it, is turmeric aids in metabolism of glucose and fat. So if you are someone who has an issue where you don't metabolize glucose at the proper rate, or you don't metabolize fat at the proper rate, turmeric is going to help you metabolize that glucose or that fat, whichever your issue may be. Most of you know that yarrow is like my new favorite oil, and I know a lot of you are looking forward to getting it when it becomes available in December. There's some crossover properties between yarrow and turmeric, and so after convention, a lot of people started making a veggie cap with 2 drops of yarrow, 2 drops of turmeric, and pink pepper as well. I have been reading on the web chat boards of all of these women who were losing weight, taking those 3. Some of them have lost like 25 pounds in the last month, not changing other lifestyle factors, just adding those oils to their daily routine, because it's balancing your body, it's balancing your hormones, all of that. It's safe in pregnancy. It is safe for children. It is safe for breastfeeding. Okay. I'm going to post a video that I made about lavender, because lavender is an oil that comes up pretty frequently, and I've made other videos about it. So for the sake of time on this video, I'm just going to post the lavender video. But when you think lavender, you're going to think sleep, skin, calming, relaxing. Another question I got was, what oils can I use for anxiety? Lavender is a great place to start for anxiety. There's a study that I'll try and post that was recently done in the Netherlands, where they show that lavender actually decreases your serotonin uptake. Serotonin, you might recognize that. There's a whole category of medications, SSRIs, that are used to treat anxiety, widespread across our country. Lavender is going to have a similar effect to those. Popular to use in the diffuser, in a bath, in a roller bottle. It's been a huge blessing on my son's bug bites and sunburns. And you can put lavender on diffuser jewelry. So I've got this bracelet that has a lava stone on it. You can put a drop on there and then diffuse it throughout the day via your jewelry. Last but not least, I wanted to tell you about the Symphony of the Cells. That's sort of my theme for the week. And the funny thing is, turmeric's not in the book at all, because the book hasn't been republished since September, and so it wasn't an oil that was available prior to September. But I can guarantee you, when it is republished, the next edition, it's going to be in the neurologic protocol, and it's going to be in the inflammation protocol. And I'm really curious to see what other protocols it will be in. Lavender is used in the cardiovascular protocol and the hormonal protocol. So we haven't talked about hormones much yet, but lavender is in the hormonal protocol. And then another question that I got in my survey was, what oils can you substitute for some of the more costly oils? Lavender is a great substitute, especially in the Symphony of the Cells. You can substitute it for petitgrain if that's not one that you have. You can substitute it for Roman chamomile, and that's a rather costly oil, so that's a good substitution to have in the back of your mind. Stock up on it if you're not planning on stocking up on Roman chamomile. And coriander. I actually really love coriander, but it's one of the ones that a lot of people don't have coriander. So you can use lavender in a recipe as a substitute for those 3. Thanks for watching, and post up any questions. I'll be happy to answer them.